Right. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Yes, can see you, but can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. All right, perfect. Unclear. Is there a certain time zone session you trade or any time as well? I pretty much mainly trade London session. It just makes sense. Mainly because Asian session typically is like manipulating, or it's typically manipulating, and then London session finally gets the actual manipulation, then we continue moving. So typically, my session is London session. Sometimes in NY I might enter, but that's only if price action has been slow in London and finally we hit my zone in NY. Let me just share my screen. Am I a bad trader or gold was just crap? Yeah, gold has been horrible this whole week. I mean, come on. You tell me. Look at this. How are you meant to trade that? Either you just sell on the highs and buy on the lows, but like there's no actual like structure at all. There's nothing. So yeah, no, gold has been horrendous. Okay, reporting Zamco, that's fine. How to clear the funded accounts? I don't know what that means. What do you mean clear the funded accounts? Like if you're in the challenge phase, risk like 1 to 2% per trade, high quality setups, and that should help you pass. And once you're unfunded, don't aim for a big payout, aim for like 2% or some crap. When's V3 releasing? You don't need to know. It's going to be soon though. I've recorded all of it. V3 is fully recorded and edited as well. I'm just exporting it all to my camera roll. So like I'm just exporting it all because it's edited, just needs to be exported, and it's just taking a while because I'm having some errors. So I'll fix that soon. It should be basically before July 5th. July 5th is when everything's basically starting. Do you wait for Asian sweep reversal for German 40? Not necessarily. I don't need an Asian sweep for German 40. I typically just follow pre-London session, wherever that's trying to push. I just follow the liquidity. I don't really need for Asian session to be swept to get a reversal or anything like that. So no. What is your time zone? It's UTC +1. I know you can't see that on my screen, but it's UTC +1. Let me click it. You can't see. Look, there's Dublin, and you go down to London, it'll be UTC +1. Can you mentor me? No. So does your analysis come from Asian session and your execution is during London session? Not necessarily, but a lot of the times it's really just what pre-London is telling me. It's all about just following market structure. What is market structure showing me? It doesn't really matter about Asian session, London session, New York. It's like, what is market structure showing me? So let me show you an example, right? So over here we have German 40. We took a loss, but that was my fault, honestly. That was just so stupid of me. So you can see right here. So we had swept Asian highs. So typically you'd expect to sweep the Asian lows, but that wasn't really what I was seeing. Rather, what happened was, like you can see 8 a.m. right here. Started pushing up and we actually broke structure to the upside, right? So from London Open, we pushed up and broke structure to the upside. So that was indicating we are going to be bullish for the day. But instead, I took shorts from over here when price came up to this 1 minute fair value gap. I don't know why. Honestly, that was stupid of me because look, we can see prices broke structure to the upside. So then we got a retracement and then we continued up even higher. And then we just continued even higher. So that was stupid of me, but that's a lesson learned. Honestly, just follow market structure. That's the best thing you can do. Obviously, understanding a higher time frame liquidity and reversal points, so fair value gaps and whatnot. But overall, I just follow market structure. So it's not really typically based off what Asian is doing. What do you trade? Well, you can see all the pairs right here. I mainly trade these top four: German 40, Nasdaq, Gold, and USD JPY. How much is the inner circle? You'll find out if you've signed up. You'll get an individual message/call, so you can find out there. He trades pairs on his watch list. I know, right? Like the watch list is right here. You can see the pairs on my watch list, and you still want to ask, "Oh, what pair do you trade?" It's like, well, it's right there. Flipping idiots. Can you try analyzing gold? What do you want me to analyze? Honestly, some people just analyze gold. What? What are you seeing? Like, just sideways, bit down, sideways. Like, just analyze gold. Why do you want to trade gold so bad? Does it look good? No. Oh, but analyze it. I want to trade gold. It's like, flip you then, innit? Just flip and fail. Piece of crap. Honestly. You asked twice now about gold. What the flip is it? Do you watch out for news or still follow? Not really watch out for news. It's like if news is going to be coming right as I'm about to enter, then obviously just wait. But otherwise, I'll just enter. It doesn't really matter about news unless it's like NFP or something, NFP or CPI. If that's a big one and I'm in like gold or Nasdaq, then yes, I would watch out and I'd stay clear of that. Do you trade any other? Do you use any other pairs as confluences? No, I don't. How do you know if price is going to sweep the highs and lows or Asia or just continue in one direction? So typically, you look at higher time frame liquidity. So for example, let me show you, right? Let's see. Typically, both sides do get swept, but usually if we're very, very bullish, so let me go back to a time where German 40 was very bullish, right? Okay. So like here, right? We're constantly pushing bullish. So in this scenario right here, yeah? So we've consolidated in Asian session and we've pushed up so much in London. I'm not going to then expect price to then sweep the lows as well. Like we are very impulsive. So now that we're all the way up here, let's say, I'm not expecting this low to really be swept unless to the left, there is a big like bearish fair value gap that potentially we're going to start rejecting off. But if there's nothing there, I'm not looking for that reversal. I'm just going to keep following market structure as it keeps pushing up. So that's kind of how I go about it. If Asian session typically pushes in one direction very impulsively, you don't really get like a sweep of the high and the low in the same day. What else? What's the agenda for the live? Honestly, it's just more market forecasts and just a little bit of a breakdown and just answering a few questions because people have questions and I'm here to answer it. What's your opinion on NQ this week after the news with Trump? I feel like Nasdaq might dump. I feel like it might be bearish and gold might go up along with oil. I'm not a fundamental guy, so I don't actually know or have like any expertise in this, but typically everyone knows when there's fear in the market, gold is the safe haven, gold tends to go up and stocks tend to come down. That's like typically what happens. So I'm going to expect what typically happens, honestly, but I don't fully know, but that's what I expect. What time does Asia start and finish? So I'm in the UK. My Asia time starts from 1 a.m. and ends at 7 a.m. So that's my UK time Asian range. Can you please explain how do you do your analysis on daily time frame? Okay. So on the daily time frame, we have this daily fair value gap, which we were targeting. So, okay. Let's forget all of this right here. As price is pushing up and I am bullish on Nasdaq, right? And let's say we're over here. My overall target is this untested bearish fair value gap up here on the daily time frame. And we also had this big bullish fair value gap on the daily time frame on Nasdaq. So now as price is coming down, I need to then think based off higher time frame, where am I expecting price to come down to? And where am I targeting? We have an untested fair value gap up here. So that's where I was expecting price to be pulled up to. But over here, now we're starting to push down. Where are we likely to get that reversal from? A big daily fair value gap. So that's how I use my daily fair value gaps as like a draw on liquidity and understanding where price wants to go. We're trying to come up here because this is an untested fair value gap before all of this nonsense over here. So let's just assume we are like there or some crap. Actually, no, let's go even further back. Let's say there. Yeah, let's assume we're like here, right? I'm seeing this bearish daily candle. Now I'm thinking, all right, are we just going to now completely push bearish? No, because we are overall clearly breaking these highs. We're pushing up. We have this untested fair value gap over here. We have this big daily bullish fair value gap right here. So now all I'm waiting for on the daily time frame is price to come into here, and then I drop to my lower time frames and then look at structure and then follow that. So this is kind of how I use the daily time frame to analyze the market. War situation will go. See, you need to. Your phrasing is very, very wrong there. Just think about what you're asking. War situation, will gold go up? I don't know. The whole point of trading is to trade probabilities. I don't know what will happen. So this is the one biggest thing I always see people do. It's a big issue. Will gold go up? Will NASDAQ do this? I don't know. Probably it will do that. So even your language when it comes to trading is wrong. If you're approaching the market like gold will go up, you already got this big bias in your flipping fat head, and when you try to take your trades, you're just going to be stuck to that bias. It's never a matter of what will happen. It's about what's likely to happen, what might happen, and you just wait for the confirmations to show you that. So honestly, some people need to really fix their language when it comes to trading and stop saying, will gold do this? Will NASDAQ do this? It's not about will. It's about maybe, probably, what's likely to happen based off the information that you have. Nothing will happen based off you saying it will happen. It just really affects you. Trust me. I've made that mistake. Any tips for a beginner level trader? Well, I've just given you one. Don't ever think price will do something. It's likely to do something based off the previous data, sure, but it doesn't mean that it will. How do we get access to the previous crash course? You need to go to the Instagram bio in my Instagram bio and click the link, which will take you to the wait list. You need to sign up to the wait list, and that's where you can get access to the V2 crash course for free. Do you have a process to manage all your accounts? Yeah, I just manually trade them in batches. I just change on my MT5 on my phone. I just quickly change between accounts and place the same trades. You taking a short in Asian session? Why? Like for what? I just want to stop. I just want to stop the stream at this point, honestly. Some people ask the most stupidest questions. What time frame you use? I use all of them from weekly down to the 1 minute. Do you trade breakouts or reversals? Have you seen any of my videos? Like I don't trade reversals or breakouts. I trade continuations. My entry model is based off a reversal on the lower time frames, but on the higher time frames, I'm just taking a continuation. What other questions do we have? Can you through a trade from the start to finish? Okay, sure. I can do that for you. I can do that for you. So it was this trade, I believe, that was on Thursday. Yeah, so it was here. Okay. So this was a trade on Thursday. So what we had was this 30-minute fair value gap on German 40, right? So we had this 30-minute fair value gap. Asian session pushed down, we retraced, and then pre-London straight away started pushing down, right? This is still Asian session right here, but then pre-London started pushing down, breaking structure to the downside. This is how I look at the market on German 40, by the way, so take notes. So we broke structures to the downside in Asian session, and pre-London pushed down quite impulsively, leaving a big wick. And then now that we've broken structure to the downside, As we're retracing up, I look to the left. Is there any fair value gap that we are rejecting? No, not really. There's not like a good zone here. We got big liquidity points down here. So as price is retracing up, so from here, as price is retracing up overhead to my zone to sell, I'm looking at, did it react off anything significant to the left? If not, then that means it's probably just retracing to continue down. Now, if there was a big fair value gap to the left that we're rejecting off, maybe we could actually continue up from there, but there was nothing to the left for it to reject off. So then now I'm thinking, cool, we've broken structure to the downside. As we're retracing up, I look at 50% from that high over here to the low that was made over there. Any fair value gap above this 50%, so we had one over here and one over here. That's all I'm waiting for. So as price taps into our higher time frame fair value gap, so over here on the 30-minute, then now my bias is clearly bearish because we've already broken structure to the downside, nothing to the left that price was rejecting off. So we are typically going to come down to sweep. Well, most likely we'll come down to sweep this low. So that's my target over there. So then we have our 30-minute fair value gap marked out over here. And as price comes up to it, all I'm waiting for is a market structure shift to the downside. Cool. Over here, we can see we had a market structure shift to the downside. Right here. You see price broke the low right here. So look, you see this low? What happened was price came here and we broke this low to the downside, right? So we had a market structure shift to the downside. We had this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Sales would have been taken right there. And my stop loss was above the previous highs. We did come quite close to stop loss, by the way. If you look at this, as price was coming down, as we broke structure to the downside, we were actually rejecting off this 1 minute fair value gap. So it was a risky one. But then if you didn't want to take that one, we had a second entry right here where price then broke this low, creating another market structure shift to the downside. And then we had this 1 minute fair value gap right here. This was a much cleaner entry that was created. So it would have been right there. Stop loss could have been above this high, but to be safe, I'd just do it above the major swing highs. And then all I would be doing is targeting the previous low. And there we go. That was actually the trade that was taken on Thursday. It was sent into the premium Discord. Let me see if I can bring it up for you guys. Mental charts. All right. Let's see. German 40. Was it this one? Yeah, right here. We could see German 40 potentially continuing down from this 1 hour fair value gap. So that was the trade right there. This is just a bit more refined, but look, on the hourly time frame, it was just this big 1 hour fair value gap. Obviously, that could be refined to the 30-minute, which is what we actually took the trade on, because that's where we got our market structure shift from. But there we go. That was sent into the premium Discord. It was a trade that we took. So if you want to think I'm just capping, there's your proof. So yeah, this was a trade. Very, very simple. 30-minute fair value gap created after pushing down, breaking structure to the downside very impulsively, retracing upwards, having not rejected off a big fair value gap or anything, nothing major to the left. So overall, I'm still bearish, just following market structure. That's all I'm doing. Following market structure, key liquidity points, major highs and lows, fair value gaps, and just following market structure. That's all it was. That's the trade that was taken. And that was 1 to 7 pretty much. So there you go. All right. Since you're targeting the daily fair value gap, you wouldn't put your TP past the fair value gap, correct? No, yeah. I would never put my TP at the end of the fair value gap, only the moment it touches it. Whenever price touches that fair value gap, that's where I would want to get out. I'm not going to go all the way through it. That just doesn't make any sense. Can you show her how to find a setup from start to finish? What I just did. I would see price break to the downside. Cool. It's broken structure to the downside. So then what? Right here, I would just look at this. See, okay, cool. Pre-London, we've just pushed down quite a bit. Price is retracing, but there's nothing to the left that's significant for it to be rejecting off. Cool. Now we just mark out our fair value gaps. We have our extreme one right here. And all I'm waiting for is price to come into the zone, give me a market structure shift on the lower time frame, and continue down. That's all it was. That is very, very simple, just following market structure. You showed us how to enter a trade and place a stop loss on the crash course. How can one determine where to place a TP? Or like I said, actually in the crash course, you should have known I say to place TPs at previous major highs and lows. So did you actually watch the crash course properly? I don't know. Okay. Previous highs and lows or major fair value gaps, that's where you place your TPs. Could you go through what you would be looking at on the weekly time frame? It's not that significant to me. I don't really look at it, but it's like I'd be looking at, cool, we have this weekly fair value gap down here. That's my target. So I'm just basically bearish until we come into this weekly time frame fair value gap. That's pretty much it. So that's kind of how I base it. And look on the daily, we have this daily order block down here, daily fair value gap over here. So actually, I'm expecting price to come down quite a bit on German 40. So it's just looking at fair value gaps on the higher time frame. It's nothing special. All right. Premium Discord price. There is no premium Discord, so the previous members are still there because everything's going to be transitioned. So the previous people that were paying are just still there. But I'm not taking on any new premium Discord members because that's all closed off now. I'm not doing that anymore. But if you want to join the inner circle, which is going to be very different or fairly different, you can join that through the link in my Instagram bio, which will be the waitlist, and you can maybe claim a spot or reserve a spot. That doesn't mean you're going to be accepted, because honestly, I'm going to be picking very select few people, because most of you people I don't want to work with. I don't, honestly, a lot of you aren't cut out for it. So I only want a select few people that actually are serious. How many good trades your system gives you in a week? Typically like a good 3 or 4 good trades every single week, like every day pretty much. I get a good setup like on German 40. It's like the odd 1 day or 2 days here and there where it doesn't, where it's like just consolidating all crap. But most of the times, pretty much every day, I get a setup on German 40 with the system. So mark the high time from fair value gap, wait for price to return there, drop to the 1 minute, and wait for another market structure shift plus the fair value gap above 50% to enter the trade. Yes, that's correct. What do you normally trade and why? Well, again, stupid question. All of the things I trade is right here. The blue ones are my main ones. And why do I trade it? Because it's such horrible price action and it doesn't move that well. That's why I trade it. How do you get a daily bias? I've just been through that, like right here. We've pushed down. Now that's my bias is bearish. We're not rejecting anything over here to the left. There's no major fair value gaps. We're breaking structure to the downside. I'm just following market structure. That's my bias. Like, look, it's bearish. We broke structure to the downside, retrace, continue. That's it. Do you use break even? Yes, typically when like all the fair value gaps around my entry have been tapped into and now we're breaking structure to the opposing side, then it's like it shouldn't really retrace back to my entry. So that's at that point I make it break even. Do you usually go for this kind of risk to reward? Yes, this is typically my risk to reward, like 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 10, 1 to 11. Like that's typically what I get. Which prop firm evaluations do you recommend to buy that can allow you to risk hold daily drawdown? Funding pips, trust me. You can use 4.5% risk in the challenge stage. Bruv, just do that. Once you're funded, you can only do 3% max per trade, but in the challenge, you can risk like 4.5%. It doesn't really matter. In which time frame do you draw your level of fair value gap? Any that's significant, like 30-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, like it just whatever's good and in a discounted area. It doesn't really matter. Have you gone through gold, EU, or GU? Those three, I don't really trade much. Gold, I do, but it's been completely trash, so no. I haven't been through any of it. Why not the fair value gap below? Like this one over here? Well, if you have price coming up this close to this fair value gap, and you have an untested one just above, is it not better to take the one that's above because that's still open, is still an inefficiency in the market? Also, I could look at price rejecting off the one lower. I just need a very confirmed market structure shift on the lower time frame, and if I get that, then I'll take the lower one. But if I have an extreme one up here, that's like your highest point price should be coming. Otherwise, if it breaks this high, then your bias is completely incorrect at that point. But that's like the most highest point price should come up to at most, unless it wants to reverse. Besides fair value gaps, do you use other indicators? Market structure, previous highs and lows, order blocks, premium and discount pricing. Do you trade German 40, and what's your thoughts on US 30? I don't trade US 30, so I don't know. But I mainly trade German 40, sometimes NASDAQ and gold and USD JPY, but mainly I trade German 40. No CISD, obviously no trades in the opposite direction. I don't know what CISD is. I don't really try to catch reversals. I just follow the trend because it's just more likely to win. So why not be on the more probable side of the market? Another example, please, man. I love the simplicity of your trading strategy. Yeah, no worries, man. We'll get into that. Let's play Black Ops 6. No, thank you. If you could choose one pair or currency to trade for the rest of your life, what would it be? German 40, definitely. Look, anyone out there that hasn't traded German 40, trade it, try it. Look at how well it follows market structure and fair value gaps. If you understand just basic market structure and fair value gaps, just watch German 40. Trust me, it just follows. I would urge you to try German 40. What's your view on the current conflict? Well, what do you mean? Like political or conspiracy or some crap? It's all a bunch of nonsense. It's all pre-planned. We're all just puppets. But how it would affect the market, I don't know. I'm expecting gold to go up. That's usually what happens, along with oil, and stocks to come down. So German 40 and NASDAQ to come down. That's typically what I expect to happen. No, don't close your premium Discord. Oh, sorry, bhai. It has to happen. Do you mark the NQ chart or just NAS chart? I'm asking because I do not see NQ in your watch list. I just use the NAS chart, not NQ for futures, because it doesn't really make a difference, but the candles are cleaner on the NAS chart on the CFD. I just mark out my major zones that I'm looking at, and I can enter on top step wherever, like on that NQ chart on top step, but it's typically the exact same. It doesn't really matter. So if price sweeps either Asia high or low and does not react off any major zones like fair value gap, it tends to follow the same structure. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. How do we get access to the previous crash course? Like I've said, go to the link in my Instagram bio to the wait list, sign up to the wait list, and then you'll get access to you'll get the wait list Discord access, and then from there you can access the V2 crash course. Don't worry, it will be made much more available once we launch the other stuff. July 5th is when I plan to launch everything. So after that, the V2 crash course will be much, much easier to access for free. So don't worry. Bro, I want to be in your inner circle. I'm active in your Discord daily of Flipper FX. Yep, I've seen you, but I know I won't be able to join because I'm too young, but I'm able to join when in next year or this October. Well, if you can't join this year, it would have to be next year because I'm not taking anyone else until the end of the year. I'm just closing it off. Honestly, I figured after having my premium Discord and the free Discord, I'm really seeing who's actually serious, who's actually got potential. When people are just joining, coming and going, they're not the ones I want to work with. The people who are actually there sticking through like the wins and the losses and actually trying to learn and they're sticking, those are the ones that are actually going on to then make profits and actually get payouts. So I can't be asked for people joining and leaving and just dipping in and out like Flip You. I need someone who's serious. So that's why I'm going to close it all off until end of the year. Only the people that are serious are going to stay. Everyone else can go. I use 15-minute chart for looking at fair value gaps and then drop to the 1 minute time frame for market structure and then generally into the market. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. But why limit yourself to 15-minute when you have 30-minute and the 1 hour and the 4 hour and the daily and the weekly? It's like, why limit yourself to just 15? Because they're all valid. What we would do in the one-to-one session with you, which is on your WAP store. So you'll get a 1 hour call with me where I go through anything that you need me to. So I can tailor a trading plan for you. I can go through my exact strategy again and again and again. I can go through all of the things that you're struggling with, anything that you need help with. Like, I've been through all of the issues that you probably have, so I know ways to go around it. When are you launching your inner circle? 5th of July is the launch date. So just after 4th of July holiday. I don't celebrate it, but it's just better, isn't it? 5th of July is when I plan to launch. Could you explain how to go about prop firms when it comes to spreads? I have noticed German 40 has high spreads. Typically, German 40 has high spreads before 7:15 UK time. After that, spreads are generally better on prop firms on German 40 because that's kind of when market's opening up. But I don't know, if the spreads are bad, the spreads are bad. I can't do anything about that. You just have to trade with it. Like, I have a lot of prop firms. Some have better spreads from German 40 than others. I just deal with it, you know? If I have a buy limit or a sell limit, I incorporate what that spread is so that I ensure that I get tapped into the trade. How do you use premium and discount? Do you even know what it is that you're asking that question? That's the biggest question. Like, do you even know what premium and discount is before you ask how to use it? Because if you know what it is, then it's pretty simple. So let's say we have this market structure that broke structure to the downside. I'm going to show you right now. So we have market breaking structure to the downside. I will mark out a fib from the high from up there to the low down there. All it is any retracement above 50%, so up here, is a premium area. So that's where you would look to sell. I'm not going to look to sell down here because that's not in a premium area. So all I have to do is wait for price to retrace above 50% into a premium area and then sell. And just the same for when buying, that's just in a discount. That's all premium and discount is. How many trades on average do you take? Around 5 to 10 a week. Like solid good trades, maybe like 4 to 5 a week. Oh, flipping out. I put a timer on so people can't just spam, and you're not, but there's still too many questions. What a flip. Find that the 30-minute is such a solid time frame. Yeah, 30 minutes are a really good one. 15 and 30 minutes, they're really good. Will you go over NAS today? Yes, I will. You look like Jesus. Ha ha ha, so funny. Do you even know what Jesus looked like? Have you actually seen a picture of him? No, you haven't. Shut up. Is German 40 and German 30 the same? Yeah, pretty much. Why 40 and not 30? Well, whatever the broker allows you to trade, that's what I trade, in it. Like, if it doesn't have German 30, then I trade German 40. They're both the same thing, pretty much. It moves the same. Will it affect market? Probably. I don't know. How big do I need my account to be to trade German 40? Well, it depends. Are you talking about a personal account? Because I don't know. It depends on your broker. It depends on the leverage and the margin that they require. I don't know. Once you identify the fair value gap you're interested in, when price gets to that point of interest, do you wait for price to reject, or do you just enter using a pending order? And what are your confirmations? If you were watching the stream, you would see that when price comes into my fair value gap, all I wait for is a lower time frame market structure shift that reverses. So as price is coming up, all I wait for on the 1 minute time frame is for price to break structure to the downside and show me some sort of reversal pattern on the lower time frames. Once we tap into it, then I use a pending order on the 1 minute time frame to enter. So like something like that. So I would use something like that, basically. Not all prop firms I have German 40, such as Apex. Which prop firm do you trade German 40? Usually the CFD prop firms all have German 40. Apex, I believe they have Eurex. So that I think they do still offer German 40. I know Top Step is, most future prop firms don't have German 40 because it's not, you need to have Eurex. If they don't offer that, then you can't trade German 40. Do you use order block or supply and demand? Supply and demand is pretty much the same as what I'm showing you right here. It's like we have a big impulsive move down. This is your supply area. As price comes up to it, you just sell. Like, it's pretty much the same thing. Order blocks I do sometimes use, but I prefer to use fair value gaps because they kind of confirm that you get into the trade. Because order blocks sit higher up than a fair value gap, or lower down than a fair value gap that's higher than it. What times or session do you recommend German 40? London session is the best for German 40. I've only traded NQ so far, but I will try German 40. Sounds like better price action. Yeah, definitely. In London session, German 40 price action is so good. Okay, then I'll mark up my NAS chart because I have to redo my markings. Okay, cool. What is the criteria when you select who you will allow in the inner circle out of all the applicants? Yeah, so basically it's more about what is your aim in trading? How long have you been trading? What have you done whilst you've been trading? What do you do for a living? And how much time do you have to spend? And all of these questions is really analyzing if I believe you can make a good candidate. Really, it's like, if you're someone who's always busy, doesn't have a job, doesn't really have money to invest, am I going to pick you to train up to be a trader? It's like, no, it doesn't make any sense. If you have a good, if you have an income, you can afford to risk certain amounts of money, you can take you can afford to take risks and all of that, and you have a lot of time on your hand as well, and you've shown that throughout your journey you've taken the correct steps and whatnot, then I'm like, all right, you're not fair enough, you have potential. But if you don't even have a job, you have no money, and you're like, I want to be in the inner circle, it's like, well, sorry, I can't help you. You need to have money to risk to be able to trade. It's just how it goes. Can you go over gold for the coming week? How will I go over gold? Like, what do you see on gold? Like, looking at this, what do you see? I don't know. If you want, look, we have this fair value gap over here. Maybe you can continue down further, but it's all fundamental right now, really. I don't really know. It's just consolidating. There's no clear direction. What do you want me to analyze? Sorry if I'm a bit rude. I don't mean to be. It's just people really ask. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be this rude. Just a bit annoyed. What percentage of your account do you risk when doing evaluations? Have you seen any of my videos? Like 4.5% or whatever the max amount I'm allowed to risk. That's what I risk. What is the best broker for UK customers? Well, it depends. Are you looking at personal brokers? If you are, then IC Markets I would recommend, because that's what I use. They're really good. Very tight spreads. And even if your balance goes below zero, let's say you full port a trade, they will reinstate your balance. So you don't even have to pay for it to be brought back up to zero, even if you go into negative balance. So yeah, IC Markets is something I'd recommend. How many trades do you take per week? I've already answered that. Thought I found the missing part of my trading puzzle, and then you say you're closing premium. Well, the inner circle is there. If you want to join, you can apply. And if you're fit, then you'd be accepted. Can you tell us a little bit more about the inner circle? No, I can't. If you join the wait list, then you'd be informed about it. I'm not going to tell you anything more. The waitlist members get the sneak peeks on what to expect, and they'll get emails and whatnot. So if you haven't done that, you're not taking the correct steps to find out crucial information. Yo, you good, Zamco? I think so. He doesn't take inverse fair value gap. He only trades what you see him talking about. Yeah, I mean, look, inverse fair value gaps is very uncommon for me to trade that. Sometimes when NASDAQ is doing really great price action and I'm seeing inverse fair value gaps work, then I might take it. But typically I don't really trade inverse fair value gaps. Sometimes, but very rare. Do all fair value gaps get filled? What happens if they don't? Typically, most fair value gaps will get filled. If they don't, then it's just another area to target as price approaches it. So that's kind of what I do. How do we align time frame? What? It's just common sense, isn't it? Like, okay, daily time frame, there's no fair value gaps over here. Okay, 4 hour. Is there any fair value gaps here that are untested? No, but there are down here. Okay, 1 hour. Are there any fair value gaps here that are untested? Yes, finally. All of this is tested except for down here. Okay, let's mark that out. That's your next major zone to target. Cool. So now we know price is probably coming down to here, but that's too far. Okay. Let's say you start on the 4-hour time frame, okay? We're clearly printing bearish a lot. Okay, we dropped to the 1 hour. Cool. We broke structures to the downside. All right, we have this 1 hour fair value gap. Cool. Let's refine it. Let's drop to 30-minute. Okay, we have this one here and this one here. Okay, let's refine it. 15-minute. Okay, we can refine it even more. We can go down to like there. Cool. Then we have like 3 fair value gaps. Now it's just getting a bit more complicated. If we kept it simple on like 30-minute, cool, there we go. And you've now aligned higher time frame direction because we have hourly fair value gaps over here that are untested, big weekly one over here that has untested. So now you have your overall target, you are bearish, and then you're also seeing structures following bearish. Now you drop to the 1 hour and the 30-minute. You can see now you have bearish fair value gaps after we've broken structures to the downside. Now we're just expecting a retracement up. And once price comes into that, all you're aligning is 30-minute is clearly bearish fair value gap. So once price comes into that, you are planning to sell. How do you look to sell? You drop to the 1 minute time frame, you get your bearish confirmation on the 1 minute time frame, and then that's how you are aligning your 30-minute and your 1 minute to get your entry, and then you take your sell. There you go. Bro, you seem like you don't enjoy teaching. I don't like teaching idiots. That's the one thing. You know what it is? When I did my V2 crash course, I literally stated this is for intermediate to advanced students because I don't like teaching beginners, because a lot of beginners, some of them ask good questions and I like those people and I like to teach them, but most of them ask the most dumbest, oh my gosh, the questions they ask is so stupid. It's like they haven't even tried to think for themselves. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to help you and I don't like you. That's why I don't really like to trade or teach beginners, because most of them will ask us stupid questions. And look, fair enough, you are new to it, but their questions just show they haven't even tried to look into it. It's like looking at a burger and saying like, oh, is that noodles? It's like, what are you doing? That's what irritates me, and I don't like teaching those types of people. So typically I don't actually like teaching, but there are a select few people, again, which is what the inner circle is for. It's like, if I like you and I see you have potential based off the information you give me, and I can think, oh, you know what, fair enough, you make a good student, maybe, you know, I can probably teach you, then I'll teach you. But if you don't pass, then I'm sorry, I'm not teaching you. Because again, you lot can see I'm very reluctant to teach people, but if the criteria is correct, I will do it and I'll make sure you do a good job with it. How much is your monthly return and what is your winning rate percentage? All right, how much is in your bank account? Like, why are you asking me all these questions? You've seen the payouts on my Instagram story, probably. You've seen all the payouts. That's how much I make. Like, again, see, stupid questions. It's like, how much is your monthly return? How much do you make monthly? Check my payouts. Like, I'm a prop firm trader. You can see my payouts, but yet you're still going to ask, how much do you make? Is an extra sub on Apex? It might be an extra subscription. I'm not sure. I haven't traded the Apex so far, so I don't know. What would you say the best time frame is to watch for market structure and breakouts and entries? Oh, flip you. I ain't answering that. I've just said it. Is there... It's all of them. Yeah, you just align it all. Is there certain best timings for this? Yeah, so for German 40, typically the entries are in London session. That's typically is a good time to look for your entries. How do you apply for, are you trading gold? Not right now. Can you please to explain about the instant funding, please? What instant funding? I don't know. I don't know what instant funding you're on. Could you just clarify that, please? What is your usual risk to reward around like 8, 1 to 10? How do you apply for Instagram bio? Join the wait list. You're on replay. Yeah, I know I'm on replay. It's the weekend. What do you want me to do? Like, the market's not moving. Flip is your problem. Do you incorporate fundamental in your trading? No, I do not. how do you pay taxes? Do you have a company or do you set aside 50% of your income? Flipping out. No. I have a company that I run my profits through. Can you show the indicator settings? Sure. It's just this Asian range indicator. I'm in UTC -1 London time. So this is what I use to get my Asian range correctly. So in the UK, it will be from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. UK time. That's what this is all aligned with, basically. These are the settings I use to get it to align with that. What are the costs for the Inner Circle program? You can join the waitlist and find out. Are you a millionaire yet? I wish. Do you counter trade or you prefer to only follow the market structure and avoid ping pong trades, if it makes sense? I just follow market structure typically. Wherever the overall trend is, I kind of just follow that. But my reversals are on the 1 minute or low time frame, but it's to continue the overall higher time frame direction. Maybe you should turn the live off and go on a walk. Maybe I should. Hey Zamco, just want to say thank you for the information. A lot of it can be gotten for free on your social media if one is willing to find it. I appreciate that. Exactly. This is what I mean. It's like if someone is willing to actually take the steps to somewhat learn, it's like, cool, I see this Zamco guy. He's doing this live stream. Maybe I should join and find out some information. Cool. But have you even bothered to look at my page to just see what I'm about? Maybe you'll see, oh, he constantly shows his setups. This is the trade he took. This is the trade he took. This is how he took it. This is how he broke it down. And yet you still want to not do any of that and just ask me directly. It's like, oh, how did you do this? It's like, well, I've already shown it so many times. It's like, take some sort of initiative to find out the information. That's what I did when I was trading and started out trading. I would go on people's Instagram pages and YouTubes and I just look at everything. It's like, what are they teaching? What is this setup? Why did they show it like this? Like, I'll just go through any post that I can to find the information. I would never DM them, oh, what's your risk to reward? It's like, why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? What's your win rate, sir? It's like, I'm profitable. Your current issue is not win rate. You first need to know how to trade. Win rate and risk to reward, it's like, that's another thing later on. You don't even know how to enter a buy or a sell and you're asking about win rate and crap. It's like, that's not important. Just signed up for the Inner Circle. Thank you very much. You should get an email soon, I think. I'm from India. How can I get your V2 course? You cannot. I don't think India is included for WAP, so I don't think you can. Bro, I'm on the Inner Circle waitlist. The email with access for V2 and 5 email, but it's nothing about the Inner Circle in those emails. Well, yeah, no, that's fine. You're in the Inner Circle. I'll probably DM you through Instagram if you've replied to the stories and you're signed up. And based off your answers or whatever, there's an initial screening, right? If you haven't passed that, then you probably won't get a message from me. You're just filtered basically. If you've given all your answers and whatnot when signing up to the waitlist, from there you'll get screened. And if you don't meet the criteria, then sorry, you won't get a DM. But if you do somewhat meet the criteria, then maybe I'll ask you for more information, and then you'll get asked about the Inner Circle. So if you haven't made the cut, then I'm sorry. Bro, I'm on the way. I tried to contact you on Instagram DM, no response. I would like to chat about some added source to your analysis. Think dealing ranges and NQ, ES divergence for higher probability sweeps and fair value gaps. Please do not talk to me about ES and NQ divergence and SMT and all that crap. You don't need to tell me about some extra thing that can maybe improve my trading. I'm happy with how I trade. It flipping works. I don't want anyone to change anything. And yeah, sorry if you haven't got a DM from me or a response. I'm sorry. There's thousands of DMs. I can't see all of them. I'm sorry. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Have you ever heard of minor, medium, and major inducements? I know about inducements. I've never really classified them as minor or medium or whatever. But yeah, I know what inducements are. I'm sure you replay when you are looking for gold for analyzing Sawaki. Maybe I will. We'll see. Thank you for the help, man. I've been trading for 2 years and know a lot this trading thing. I actually learned your strategy in 1 day and have already gotten 4 wins and 1 loss only by trading German 40. There you go. Right there is proof that someone literally just looked at my video and just took notes. It's like, oh, he goes about German 40 like this. Let me try apply this. Nice motorbikes. So he saw a video of mine, took notes like, oh, okay, he's breaking down German 40. Oh, this is what he does. Oh, let me go apply that. And look, he wins 4 trades and loses 1. It's like, oh, okay. Smart guy right there, actually took initiative to learn himself. Unlike most of you who just ask dumb questions, he actually went and, put in the work and the initiative to learn. The information is all there. If you're not willing to put in the work to look for it, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So nice one, Jade. I'm very happy with seeing that, because it's proof that literally from everything that's already on my page for free, you can learn how to trade. But most people don't want to take the initiative to even try. Can you show your method on USD/JPY? I understand it will pretty much as German 40. Just want to see you show a different pair. Yeah, I can. USD/JPY hasn't been great like this past 2 weeks. It's been crap, but I will try to show how it can be applied. Not feeling good about the current world situation, nor am I. Please, your live videos are not being saved on YouTube. Yes, they are. If you go on live on my YouTube channel, you'll see that they are there. Have the same setup on German 40, mate. No, you don't, because this already happened on Thursday, so you can't have it right now. You probably had it. Hi, Zamco. Do you have a higher time frame bias for coming weeks for XAU and German 40? I'll get onto that. You're really inspiring for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've seen your crash course video. Simple setup, easy to understand, but I think there's more to learn than just crash course. I'm on the wait list. Looking forward to learning more from you. Yeah. So the V2 crash course, there are a few bits and bobs that I didn't put into it because I just forgot. And then after watching it all back and getting feedback from people, I realized, okay, there's a few things that I've missed. So that's what the V3 is for. And that's why I'm going to try and include all the missing stuff and try to clarify things that I didn't. So I'm just trying to constantly improve what value I'm giving out, basically. I will apply for the inner circle after the call. Zamco, I want to say thank you in advance for the knowledge you give for free, regardless if I make it into the inner circle. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's a very nice message for you, for me. Thank you so much. When I searched for V2, someone in Telegram is selling your course for $25. If you want to get scammed, you can pay them the $25. I don't care. But don't come to me if you get scammed. Right, let's get moving. So NASDAQ, let's get rid of the replay function. What am I expecting on NASDAQ? Cool. So based off fundamentals, which I don't use, but it kind of helps in this situation. Overall, we are now consolidating. So this is a bit tricky for me to trade. However, based off the daily time frame, we are somewhat pushing bearish. And what happened over here on Friday was price opened with a gap and it pushed up and we didn't fill the gap. So right here, you see this big 1 hour candle? There's a gap over here that wasn't filled. It just opened and started, it gapped up and continued pushing up. Cool. So now I'm expecting this gap to be filled sooner or later. And where can we expect that gap to be filled? So we start off by marking out our 1 hour fair value gap. After, you can see right here, we have broken structure to the downside. Right there. We've broken structure to the downside, or we can say market structure shift. There we go. We have a market structure shift to the downside, breaking these lows. We have a 1 hour fair value gap. Now we can refine that. We can look. If you look to a 30-minute, you can see we can refine it to a 30-minute fair value gap. Now, if we mark out a Fibonacci retracement from this high to this low down here, we can see this fair value gap sits above 50% in a premium zone. Great. So can we try refine it even more? Yeah, we have this tiny one here, not the best. 5-minute, I guess we have these up here. Maybe that would work. 3-minute, okay, maybe. We have like a 3-minute one here, which is pretty decent. It's quite high up though. It's not my favorite, but I like this 30-minute one over here. But here's the thing. Now that we have these two fair value gaps, how do you know which one to use, right? Both of them are sitting in a premium area, so both are valid. However, now what we want to do is wait for a price to come up to it and give a reversal confirmation on the lower time frame. So I'll be looking at this sort of reversal on the 1-minute time frame once we tap into this 30-minute fair value gap. Now, if we don't get that reversal confirmation and we just go right through it, then I'll be expecting price to come up to this 3-minute one. And same thing, I'll be waiting for this type of reversal confirmation on the 1 minute time frame once we've tapped into that fair value gap to then potentially continue down. So my bearish is bias, and my bias is bearish on NASDAQ because we have this gap over here. But this all depends on how market opens tonight. So market might open with a huge gap up, like up here. I'm sorry, then I can't really enter my sell because it's just a huge gap up and it's just messing things around. Or if we straight away gap down and go past this low, then again, it's like it's messing things up. But based off just structure right now, I'm bearish on NASDAQ, expecting to reject off this 30-minute fair value gap or this 3-minute. Just depends where I get my reversal confirmation from. So this is what I'm expecting on NASDAQ. Ideally target over here, but minimum target would be the gap. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting something like this on NASDAQ. Thank you for giving your time. I was really drawn to you after seeing your Top Step TV. I am trying to be consistent in applying what I learned from V2. Keep up the good work that you are doing. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Do you trade Forex and futures? Yes, I trade both. I was waiting for your break of structure to the downside on the daily. What do you think about that? I was waiting for a break of structure to the downside on the daily. That's just too far, like all the way down there. You're waiting for that low to be broken, like, or this one, but that's already been broken. Like the only significant low to be broken is there, but then that's just too late. That's just so far away. It just doesn't make any sense. Based off just this type of structure, you can see we have this low right here broken. Oh, I'm assuming you're waiting for this low to be broken first to then continue down. But if you look, this is a gap that hasn't been filled, so I would expect price to fill that, so I can maybe capitalize on taking that sell to fill in that gap. Thanks so much for your response. No worries, man. Do you not trade a session like New York? I do. I've already said, like, if London session is basically not giving my entry and we're just consolidating, and then in New York we finally come into the area and then we start getting a reversal confirmation, then I'll take that trade in New York. It just depends on when price comes into my area of interest. Okay. USD JPY. Right. So on USD JPY, what we can see, this is a good one. So on the hourly time frame, we did. Okay. So basically, just to see how market structure and fair value gaps work, you can see we had this 1 hour fair value gap over here, right? And we had this break of structure to the upside. This is USD JPY, by the way, if you don't know. We had a break of structure to the upside, and this fair value gap was sitting again in a discounted area. So if we mark out our Fibonacci from this low to this high, the high that was created, because look, price retrace and continue up higher. So now we have this new high. So now we're marking out our fib from the overall high. And we can see that this fair value gap is sitting in a discount just below 50%. And we can see price didn't touch it at all. Right here, you can see price is consolidated. It didn't tap it, but then price moved up even higher, but it came back down to tap into this 1 hour fair value gap because it was untested, never got tapped into. It was still an open inefficiency, and you can see price finally came back down to it, and then we finally started continuing up from that. So this would have been a great trade. This was during 7 p.m. Weird. So yeah, again, if you had a limit over here, that would have worked out great. But it's just overall, you can see break of structure, fair value gap, tap into it and go. We just follow the structure. That's kind of all that I'm looking for. On gold, on the other hand, like, it's just flipping crap right now. But if you wanted to, there was this setup that I saw the other day. It was, I believe, on the 15-minute. Was it 5-minute? Yeah, here we go. So basically, we had been consolidating, and then finally price impulsively broke to the downside, and then we had this 5-minute fair value gap right here. That was the extreme. And you can see price has retraced into it in Asian session. I wanted to take the sell, but I was asleep, and it was an Asian session at like 2 a.m. So I was knocked out. I didn't catch the sell, but it would have been such a beautiful one. Again, it's just market structure, break to the downside, retrace up, 5-minute fair value gap, and continue down. But overall, it's just been consolidating. Gold is not something I'm looking at right now. So I would pretty much avoid that. Now, gold going ahead, if we are to continue pushing bullish, I would use this 30-minute fair value gap right here, because fundamentals also align technically. It's not the best because we have this open 30-minute down here, actually. I would want price to come down to here first. We have a 30-minute fair value gap here that wasn't tested. We've come close, but we haven't tapped into it. So this push right here might be fake, and we might continue lower into this 30-minute fair value gap and then start continuing up. So we might see something like this. Something like that. We might see some sort of initial reaction of this, but then overall, I expect this 30-minute fair value gap down here at 3335-ish, like this region down here, to be tested and then continue up if we are to continue up. Obviously, we can just come to this 30-minute fair value gap right here and then continue launching up. But because this 30-minute right here is untested, we had a wick that came very close. And again, it's like it's trying to build that liquidity just above our fair value gap. So I would expect price to come down to here and then potentially continue up. So that's what I'm looking at on gold potentially. You help a lot. Appreciate the work, man. No worries. Zamco, isn't the Asian range strategy too subjective and inconsistent, or how do you actually use it? The Asian range strategy is basically the reason you think it's inconsistent is because I'm not completely relying on just the Asian range. It has to align with other confluences. So for example, let's look for an example like this one on German 40. Yeah, okay. So right here on German 40, right? We had this. Yeah, so we have this fair value gap right here. You can see this 30-minute fair value gap is just above the Asian range. And now if we look to the 15-minute time frame, or no, sorry, 5-minute. One minute, my bad, because I remember taking the sell from this 1 minute. So we had this 1-minute fair value gap right here, right there. So price did tap into that and reject and continue down, but it wasn't enough. And then we came back up, and then finally we continued down. But again, we don't really break the lows. So you can see we had this 1-minute fair value gap here and a 30-minute up here, or 5-minute, whichever one is pretty much the same. But you can see the significance of the Asian range. This 30-minute fair value gap was sitting just above the Asian range, whilst this one was sitting within the Asian range. And which one worked out? The one that was sitting just above. That was also in a premium area. So along with premium and discount, this one is just above in premium, cool. But then on top of that, you have to look at Asian session. Asian range high is unswept, and we have this 30-minute fair value gap just above Asian range. So again, it's like another confluence. It's like you have to look at that as well. But if all of this fair value gaps up here were already tested and we're pushing down, and then we have this 1-minute fair value gap in the Asian range, we can take that as sells and continue down. But because we had untested fair value gap just above the Asian range, you can expect the Asian highs to be swept and then continue down to sweep the lows that were unswept down here. So you have to use it in confluence with other things. It's not just reliance on the Asian range. You just mentioned setting a limit. Do you use limits often? I use limits once I get a reversal confirmation on the 1-minute time frame, and then on a 1-minute fair value gap, I just leave my limit over there because honestly, like that's it, innit? Like you've got your confirmation finally, and now you just enter off a limit on a fair value gap. So that's when I use limits. If after the 1-minute market structure shift happens and there's no fair value gaps, we don't take the trade? Question mark. So if you don't see a fair value gap on the 1-minute time frame, I'll look at the 3-minute or the 5-minute or the 15 after the market structure shift. And if there are no fair value gaps, then no, I won't really take an entry because I need something clear to take an entry off. Because if price is rejecting off an area but not leaving any fair value gaps, then there's no actual impulsive moves. There's no actual big orders that are coming into the market from that zone. Because if big orders were coming into the market from that zone and you're getting your reversal, then you will have fair value gaps, because that will show you that there's big orders. But if you're not getting fair value gaps, and that's telling you there's not big orders coming into the market from that reversal area, so then that shows you that, okay, there's probably not a lot of buyers or sellers in that area that want to actually reverse price. So yeah, avoid taking market structure shifts that don't have any fair value gaps to enter off. Gold has tapped SMR inversion, and I don't know what that is, and fundamentals have a line just this afternoon. I'm quite sure it's going to move and clear all the liquidity above. If that's what you think, then great. I really respect your resiliency that you were unprofitable 6 years. How did you keep going, and what advice would you give for people that still don't see the light? Thank you. I just believed that I could do it, and I couldn't imagine a future where I couldn't do it or didn't do it. I just kept on going. Maybe you could say I was addicted to trading. I couldn't stop. I still can't stop. I had to keep going. So maybe it was just addiction, but it was also just the belief that I can do it, and I don't see myself failing and not doing it. And again, another thing that kept me going was fear. I was so afraid of being trapped in a 9 to 5. I just thought, no, I can't do that. This has to work. This has to work. And I just kept going. That's pretty much it. So fear is what kept me going. What are your chart colors? Okay, let's look at my chart colors. So everything is pretty much black, except for the body of my bullish candle, which is this pink right here. And that's it. And the background is just white. And that's it. And if you want the color for this rectangle, I guess, that's the code right there. And opacity is 35%. So there you go. The stream complements your V2 crash course so much. It answers so many questions. Thank you, Zamco. It's David. I really hope I make it into the inner circle. Thank you. I appreciate that, David. I really do. You can see it's something I use constantly. People think I just made this course because I'm a course seller or some crap. It's like, no, I use that on a day-to-day basis. Trading doesn't have to be some crazy strategy that no one knows. It's very basic, but it's just compiling it all into what I look at personally. And you can see it's just the same things that I use day to day. So it's very simple. V2 is now free. If you want to find it, you can. If you don't want to find it, then you probably won't find it. But it will be made more available to everyone, because I know there's a lot of people that can't use the initiative to find it. So it will be made much more easier. And even then, people are still going to be like, where can I find your V2? I know. Okay. That's where I am at as well. I'm 6 years in, and you have inspired me so much. I can't tell my kids that I quit after being in it for so long. Yeah, that's another thing, man. I was in it for 6 years. Am I still gonna quit? Like at this point, after giving 6 years of my life to it? No. It's like I've done this much. I can't stop now. So yeah, man, keep pushing. What do you look for after price taps into a fair value gap to enter a trade? I look for Santa. Well, will V3 be free? You're funny. No, it won't be. Zamco, what's the general ratio between your higher time frame analysis and low time frame execution? For example, did you ever use weekly fair value gap and profit target, but with a 1 minute sniper entry? Yes. Weekly time frame, but here's the thing. I don't just enter off the weekly. I'll have my weekly time frame, and then I'll try to refine that zone down to like a 4-hour zone or something, or even a daily. I don't just enter off the weekly. That weekly will get refined more and more and more until I get some sort of big reversal confirmation. I don't just look at a 1 minute reversal after a tap into a big weekly like fair value gap. No, that's not what happens. I'll wait for price to come into a lower time frame, so like a 1 hour or a 4-hour fair value gap in that weekly time frame fair value gap, but not just based off the weekly. I'm not just going to get a 1 minute reversal off a weekly fair value gap. That's not what I'm doing. I will refine it down to like a 1 hour or a 30 minute or even a 4-hour. Then I'll probably look for that reversal, but not based off the weekly. I'll be honest. I rate how transparent and honest you are compared to others in the industry. I was watching your Bright Funded podcast and how you said the risk, how you say how you said you risk how much the prop firm will allow you to risk. Yeah, whatever the prop firm allows me to risk, as much as I can risk, I'll use it, because again, it's like prop firms promote this idea that our most profitable traders risk 0.5%. It's like, do they though? No, they just want you to fail. I'm going to do completely the opposite of what they program or promote, like for traders to do. I'm going to do the complete opposite, because that's how you become a malicious and exploitative trader, and that's what I am. I will try to exploit prop firms as much as I can and rinse them for their money. So if they tell you to do one thing, do the opposite. Obviously, within their parameters, like I can't risk a certain amount. Like, let's say FTMO's limited me to 1% now because I risk too much. So they actually emailed me saying you can't risk more than 1%. So I'm like, all right, sorry, fine, I'll stick to 1%. But even then, am I going to drop to 0.5%? No, I'm going to risk just as much of that 1% that I can so that I don't go over. But I'm going to basically push the limits as much as I can. If starting on a 5K or 10K account, funded account good before scaling, I'm early into trading and haven't started firms yet. My first ever payout was with a 10K account, and that was a $2,000 payout, which was 20%, which is quite big. But I started off with a 10K account, and that's where I got my first ever payout. So yes, I would say start off with a 5K or a 10K because it's cheaper, you can afford to lose more, and it just helps you get used to things. So it is good to start off with that. Changed my mindset, started passing more when I realized you are making no money in challenge phases. Exactly. A lot of people brag that, oh, I'm trading 0.5% and I'm on my 20th day on my phase one. You're just gambling. It's like, well, okay, I'm funded, you're not. I'm making money, you're not. So well done. You're just wasting time in the phases trying to pass. You're not making any money. So what's the point? It's just a waste of time. That's what they want you to do. That's what prop firms want you to do. They want you to waste time in the challenges. That's another reason. Oh, think about this. Before, prop firms used to have a time limit of 30 days to pass your challenge, right? Why do you think they made it unlimited time? To take off the pressure for traders, to allow you more time. No, they want you in the challenge phases, because at that point, you're not making any money, and you're also not, yeah, that's it. You're not making any money. So it's like they just want you to be in the challenge phases as much as possible, and then stay in drawdown, take a loss, and then buy another challenge, and then take more time in that. It's like they want you to just stay in the challenge phases and just keep failing. So if I risk so much and I pass and I'm already funded, now I'm risky, because like, oh, he's already on our funded stage, he can make money now. But if you're just wasting time in the challenge phases, I'm sorry, you're not making any money, you're not doing anything, you're not changing anything. Although I got placed on a lot size limit with QT for risking 2%, I'm passing one trade. Yeah, that's the only other issue that you follow with if you risk too much in challenges, because you'll probably be capped by the prop firm. But think about it. Why are they capping you? Because now you are becoming a risk to them. Why? Because they know you can make money now. So think about it that way. Now you are a threat to them because you're passing so quickly. Very interesting insights. Did you ever hold a trade for multiple weeks, or do you only trade intraday? I pretty much only trade intraday. When I first started off trading, I would hold trades for like a week or two. I used to be a swing trader, but I don't have the psychology for that. I just want to be in and out of the markets within the same day. How do you manage to make 20% on a 10K? Did you take many trades? No, it only came from like 2 good trades. I risked as much as I was allowed to. I think it was like 3% or something. And that's it. I got like a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 6, or like 2 trades similar to like risk to reward, and then that got me my 20%. So that's all it was. It was like 1 or 2 trades. Hey, please help with a lot size calculator for German 40 for prop firms that don't have inbuilt calculators like Match Trader. I don't use a calculator. I simply just place like a sell limit or a buy limit on German 40, and then change up the lot sizes so I can see how much my stop loss is risking, and then I just go off that. It's just basically using sell limits and buy limits to determine how much your lot size should be. So you can just use that. That's another tip. What levels do you draw your fib tool from when deciding which fair value gaps to take on the higher time frame? Do you just take a swing high and swing low? Yes, swing highs and swing lows is where I mark out my Fibonacci retracements to work out my premium and discounted areas. So in this scenario, I guess you could have done it also from this swing high. Oh, flip, yeah. That's probably why this one didn't work out, because look, this 1 minute fair value gap from this swing high to this swing low wasn't above in a premium area. So look, it didn't really work out, but this one did, which was above in a premium area. So that makes sense. Do you target same TPs on different prop firms? Some got equity and some other ones got static. So does it affect your risk reward parameters and some other prop? No, compared to others, no, because any challenge that I get, I make sure that I have static drawdown. And even if it is equity drawdown, I don't hold overnight, so I don't really care. It's all within the same day. So most prop funds will just be static drawdown in the same day. So it's not something I need to worry about. So all of them are pretty much target the same TPs. Or if there are in challenge phases, then my TP is just set to wherever I pass, basically that phase 1 or phase 2. So yeah, that's that. NASDAQ, so cool. Let me just show you. This is what I'm expecting potentially, but again, it is very dependent on the news. It's very fundamentally affected right now, but I am expecting it to be bearish, simply because that's typically what happens when wars are like rumored. Safe haven like gold goes up and oil goes up, and indices and stocks and whatnot, they all tend to go down because people are pulling their money out of the market and putting it into safe havens. So yeah, I would expect NASDAQ to go down. I've been talking for too long. I appreciate everyone being here. I think it's time for me to go because I am just getting more and more annoyed. But yeah, finally, people have started now asking good questions near the end and have been positive. So the idiots got filtered out at the beginning. So that was good. What's your opinion on QTE automatically closing trades at 1.5% or making you redo the whole challenge when exposure is up above 2.5% within the loss limit? It's their rules, up to them. If you don't like it, don't trade with it. They have a 2.5% risk exposure. That's kind of common. Like Funding Pips is a really good prop firm, but you can't lose more than 3% on a trade on funded accounts. So a lot of prop firms have these risk rules, and it's their rules. So whatever, innit? Like if you don't like it, then don't trade with them. But I think that's fine. A 2.5% risk exposure, that's pretty, standard. The 1.5% equity thing, I don't fully understand it because I've never had a prime account, so I don't know how it actually is implemented, so it's hard for me to comment on that. Jade is a student of knowledge. Absolutely, man. He seems like Jade clearly knows what he's doing. He's putting in the work. He's using the free information I have and using it to his advantage. That's how I was when I was starting out, so he's doing something really good. I like that. Appreciate you, bro. Back testing your strategy and adding my own confluences in, and it's gone incredibly well. Always appreciate you answering any questions. There you go, guys. So it's right there, man. It flipping works. So yeah, thank you for back testing the strategy and seeing it does work. It's just following market structure and liquidity, fair value gaps, premium and discount. That's all you need. Just follow that and you'll be fine. Thank you for kicking the knowledge with us, brother. You're very welcome. Which prop firm challenge do you recommend? Are you broke? Do you need a very, very cheap prop firm? I don't know. Do you want a very, very reliable one with very little rules, but then that comes at a cost? It just depends on what you want. Top ones are obviously FTMO, Funding Pips, Funded Next. These are the top ones, but they are very expensive. They come with very little rules, but they are very expensive. If you want cheap, but with more rules, Quantecal is very cheap, 50% off with code Zamco, but it will come with probably a bit more rules. And if you're happy with that, then sure, they're also fine. Titan Capital, code Zamco again for 30% off or 40% off, whichever one they're running. They're also good, a bit more rules than FTMO and whatnot, but they are still, again, reliable. So it depends on what you want. Do I switch pairs if the markets are crap? Yes, that's what I do. So normally I would sometimes trade gold and USD and NASDAQ, but all three of them have been performing very badly. So I'm just sticking to German 40 so far. But if German 40 starts behaving quite weird or not that great, then I'll switch back to USD or something. So whatever one's performing good, I'll switch to that one compared to the one that's performing bad. Opinions on Equity Edge. I don't trade with them right now, so I don't know. I used to. They were great, but you know, I've heard good things about them so far. Apparently they are like doing better, but I don't know. Do you prefer instant funded accounts or regular two-phase? Always two-phase, because I don't like consistency rules, so I always go with two-phase accounts. What amount of data did you collect before becoming confident in your strategy? My payouts. The moment I started getting like 2, 3, 4 payouts like consecutively, I was like, oh, flip, this works. That's it. It wasn't really like a lot of backtesting data or anything like that. I don't journal or anything, so it wasn't really that. Do you think that it is very relevant to watch the news and what's going on, and do they affect the market a lot? Well, they do affect the market a lot if it's significant, but I don't really think it's important because I don't look at it. But based off like the news right now, like Trump, you know, bombed Iran or some crap, probably gold and oil will start to push up and the stocks will start to come down. So but again, does that matter to me about what the news is? No, not really, because just following what the charts are showing me, I can see already just based off the charts that I'm bearish on NASDAQ. So it's like the charts are already showing me that. I'm just going off that. The news doesn't really affect anything for me. At what time would you fully get off the charts if you don't see a setup to enter? I don't know. Like I'm constantly just flicking through. Like throughout the day, if I don't see anything, maybe an hour or two later, I'll have a look, just quick little glance. Any setup? No. All right, close it. And then, you know, I'm just back and forth. It's not like, oh, I'm done for the day. There's nothing now. It's just whatever looks good. But typically, if German 40 hasn't given me an entry or a good setup by like 2 p.m. Afternoon, so New York time, New York session has started, NYSE has opened, I would say like 3 p.m. I've just got no good like setup on German 40, then I'm like, all right, I flip this, I'm not going to get anything, and I'll just wait for the next day for London session. Do you feel that your strategy could stop working in the future? I have this fear. Well, it's a good thing I don't trade a certain strategy. I just follow the trend. I don't think that will ever stop working. That's just basic human nature. Like wherever things are trending, you just follow that. Like that's all it is. Based on your strat, do you get a trade every day at least once on gold? What is with people and gold? Shut up. Flipping out. You're doing a great job helping with the information. Oh, you're very welcome, man. But look, what is with you and gold? Do you get this setup on gold? It's like, why are you... I'm trading German 40 and NASDAQ, right? You see, that's what I mainly trade. Why are you so fixated on gold? I don't understand this like obsession people have with gold. If it's not looking good on gold, don't take it. What's the amount of accounts you like to a copier at once, and how many currently? I don't use a trade copier. I trade manually between all my prop firm accounts. So, ooh, what's this? Ooh, I just got an email because I blew my funding pips account, right? And I've just gotten an email. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. The e-signature for 3 100K accounts. So I'm back to 300K funded with funding pips. So there you go. But yeah, in trade copiers, I don't really use any between prop firms. Now, for example, with 3 100K accounts with funding pips, they allow copy trading. So I copy traded 3 accounts between funding pips accounts. But between prop firms, I don't use copy traders. I just manually execute. Any advice on missing trades waiting on too many confluences? Well, you wouldn't really miss a trade based off waiting for these confluences. Most likely a fair value gap will get tapped. Most likely you'll get a reversal confirmation. Now with that reversal confirmation, it might not tap your entry and might just completely reject. But that's where you can take the more riskier approach and just enter off fair value gaps themselves. But typically it will follow market structure and reject off a fair value gap. So you shouldn't really be missing much trades. So only London for German 40, mainly, yes. Which red folder news events on Forex Factory affect German 40? Pretty much none of them. That's why if you look at FTMO's like trading chart for German 40 and what news events affect it, it's pretty much nothing. So you can trade German 40 through any red folder news with FTMO because apparently it doesn't really affect it at all. But I would say if there's something like the ECB, like the European Union or some crap is like meeting for something, then maybe that would affect German 40, but pretty much nothing affects it. How much does someone need to go full-time on trading monetary wise? What country are you in? What are your bills? I don't know. If someone in Nigeria can live off like $200 a month, then they can make $200 a month from trading. But $200 in the UK or the US is nothing. So it just depends on what your costs are like. And do you have a buffer where if you were to fail in trading, could you survive 6 months with the amount of money you have saved up? So it really depends on your own situation. Thanks to you, Aki, that I understood German 40. I defo know it is going to be life-changing for me. I would love to meet my mentor then, aka Zamco Capital. I appreciate that, man. You're very welcome. I won't like to meet a lot of people because I don't want to get stabbed. Because I don't know, I say a lot of things that people might get offended by, or I can be a bit rude, but that's only because I'm just irritated by people. But yeah, there are some nice people out there that I would like to actually meet in person. So yeah, it'll be great, man. Yeah, it depends on how much your bills are. You have a special method to filter out fake out confirmations or just book these stop loss? I do have a specific method to filter out the fake out methods, and that's taught in the V3, because I didn't teach that in the V2, but in the V3, that is something I teach for the fake outs. That's a good one. So you might want to get that. Do you have a certain routine for waking up and before starting to look at the charts? No, I wake up, I pray, I go toilet, then I just look at German 40, and then I lay back in bed, and then I'm just trading from my phone in bed. So nothing special. Which sessions do you trade with your strategy? I trade livestock, gas, water, peanuts, and wheat. And I trade, yeah, that, and I trade. The sessions I trade is I trade the Pakistani session, I trade the German session, I trade the what's it called? What session is that? Do you know that key session for German 40? What was that session? It was the Brazilian session. That's what I trade. Do you mind running through your full strategy? Yes, I do mind. I'm not going to do that. Have you shared your strategy on anywhere, or is there a mentorship you provide, please? I would like to learn from you. All over my Instagram, all my videos, that's where my strategy is. And if you replay this stream, you'll see it. He trades all sessions once the setup presents itself. Pretty much, yeah. I also pay out from these prop firms, but now I am a bit disappointed. What advice do you have for me at this stage, or why are you disappointed? I don't get it. Like, I also pay out from prop firms, but now I am a bit disappointed. But why are you disappointed? Like, did you get denied? Did you I don't get it. How did you discover your edge? Quick summary of how it happened and what you went through. I just started getting payouts after I started following market structure and stopped trying to catch the tops and bottoms, basically. Like, let's say price is just going up, and I'm just trying to sell to get the big reversal. That's what I used to do, and that was flipping stupid. Instead, as we get a retracement, I just take the buy to then continue up. I just follow market structure now, and that has worked much, much better for me, and my win rate just skyrocketed. So that's when I kind of realized, oh, just follow the trend and you'll be much more profitable. Do you take inversion fair value gaps as well, or just retracements into fair value gaps? Usually just retracements into fair value gaps. NASDAQ, sometimes I trade inversion fair value gaps when it's at an NYSE, but typically I don't really trade that right now because NASDAQ has been complete trash. If you don't mind, why does your course cost if you're making enough money? That's like asking someone, if you have one very successful okay, let's say you have a car wash station and it's very profitable, people love your product, why would you create another one? Why not just stick to the one that works? It's like, why not just have one store? Why would you have 2 stores? Why would you have 3 stores? It's just about more income. I'm making a really good amount from trading. But if I can make more whilst providing value, why wouldn't I? It's like Zamco, you have this opportunity to make more money. Why would you do that? The flip, I can make more. You can make more. But on top of that, I don't want to rip people off, which is why I priced it so low. And I wanted to actually provide value. And you can see from people who have the V2 or just watching my free stuff, they realize like, oh crap, this guy flipping knows what he's on about. So it's like I'm offering something very valuable for very cheap. You benefit by the knowledge. I benefit from the extra little bit of money. It's like, oh, that's nice. You know, I don't need it, but it's nice to have more. I was disappointed at this stage because the amounts were small and the payouts were small. Now I want to start and work with large accounts, but I don't have enough money to buy large accounts. Well, what advice would I give to someone who doesn't have enough money? It's like, make more money. Like, I don't know. You have to start off small, get payouts, and use those payouts to buy more accounts. That's what I did. I started off with a 10K account. I got my payout from there, and then I used that money to buy 50K accounts. And I just continued to roll it through like that. The USA bombing will react on the market. I don't know if it will react. I don't know if it will do that. Flip you. NASDAQ was trash last week due to being contract rollover weeks. Yep. Yeah, it's been completely crap. So that's why I haven't really been trading NASDAQ. It doesn't hurt to charge for your time. Exactly. It's like I'm putting in all this work for you. Let me charge you something. Like, what the flip? You think I just want to do everything for free? There are a lot of things I do for free, like this stream. I'm giving you 1.5 hours of my time for free. Like, I haven't charged you a single penny. What's your win rate, sir? 1%. Do you experience slippage on 1 minute, and how do you handle that? I just don't cry about it, and I just continue trading as I should. Like, you're gonna get slippages sometimes. It just depends on the prop firm. It's not that much. You just deal with it, innit? What is your opinion about gold, bro, for the next week? Go back in the stream and you'll see. Bro, I'm asking a real question, and I'm giving you a real answer. Slippage is a cost of doing the business. Yeah, prop firms will slip you. They just want you to lose more. You can sit there and complain about it and cry, or you can use it to your advantage and not care about it and still make money. When you ask me my win rate, why do you ask that? How would that benefit you by knowing my win rate? You do realize win rates change, right? In a certain month, I can have an 80% win rate. This month hasn't been that great, maybe like 30 or 20% win rate. But then again, it depends. Am I actually following my strategy? Is it like, I don't know, it completely changes. In some months, I have a 60% win rate. In some weeks, I have 100% win rate. Like, it just varies, isn't it? Like, I don't know why win rate is so like this big thing for you guys. Win rate means nothing. I can lose 8 trades in a row and then win 1, but then I make way more than all the money that I've lost. It's like, win rate doesn't mean anything. Your win rate out of your backtest results. I don't backtest, mate. I don't backtest. Like, I don't backtest my strategy or anything. I just forward test. I just keep on going along with it until it stops working. But pretty much, I don't journal my trades or anything. I just know it works because I keep getting payouts. Clearly, I'm doing something right. How was your experience in paying your family back to the support you received during your learning period? It was a great feeling. It felt like a relief and a weight off my shoulder because I knew that, okay, cool. I don't owe anyone money now. I'm not, in debt to anyone. Now it's like, it just felt very nice to get that weight off my shoulder. The other thing to keep in mind when volatility index is low, like below 20, price action for NASDAQ and S&P 500 is generally slower, so patience more for intraday moves. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't really look at that, but I guess that's another thing. Looking at volatility index, I don't really look at that. But yeah. Right, it's too hot now. I've been talking for 1.5 hours. Thank you guys for joining. I probably annoyed some of you or have been rude to you. If I have been rude to you, I am sorry. I don't mean to. It is unintentional. I'm just annoyed. Please forgive me. I don't mean to be rude to anyone. Just don't ask stupid questions. But again, that is a flaw in me. I can be quite rude at times when people ask stupid questions. I don't have the patience for it, but again, that's a flaw of mine. So if I have offended you, I am sorry. I don't mean to. It just comes out that way. But again, I do thank you for joining, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for everyone for joining, and I will see you soon. Thank you.